What's up, DBs? Coach D Magic here, former D1 defensive back. Make sure you go grab the DB Mastery program because we're going to talk about some NFL drills. Some of these we have in our DB Mastery program, some of them we don't. But I have over 100 drills, 30 to 40 NFL drills where you like this, were specifically NFL practice, which I know you guys like. And it means more because you see a Carolina Panthers guy actually doing it in practice. I'm going to talk about the how to do these drills correctly, and then a lot of you guys have questions on, let's say, this drill, right? This drill. Hey, coach, man, I love the drill, but what is it? Like, what are they working on? What am I actually supposed to be focusing on? How do I coach it? So I appreciate the questions. Any questions that you may have on drills that I send, that's my fault for just assuming everybody knows exactly what they're working on in the coaching points. So on this drill right here, we see this DB going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, let's focus on the feet and the pad level. I'll say pad level first, okay? So you always want to be in a good football stance. I would say right here, right? We can tackle from this position. We can do a lot of things from this position. All right, it's a football position: tackle, slide, kick step, jam, linebacker footwork. Okay, so you notice, look at his steps. Okay, so he's step replacing, but you can see the pressure is on the inside of his feet, in steps, or I call them 6-inch steps. All right, so as a DB, as a football player, as a defender, we want to step replace, and we want to have small steps because it's quicker reaction, all right, and better balance. All right, so if you have long steps, if you're heel clicking, I would say this is what you don't want, okay? Because we barely have any cleats in the dirt right here. All right, so I would say like right here is when he has his best steps. Okay, always want to have a cleat in the ground, step replace. All right, we're hopping here, step replace, step replace. All right, keep our feet under us, under our shoulders or whatnot. You don't want to get too wide, but it's quicker reaction. All right, so if you have a big step like this, if the receiver is working left or right, we're in no position to react. All right, so that's why you want to keep your steps small, 6-inch steps, 6-inch steps, step replace, step replace, step replace. So when it's time to react, we can get out of there. All right, so I recommend this drill as a warm-up. All right, practice on our steps, okay? And the longer you do it, obviously, the harder it's gonna be. Your steps are gonna get out of place, out of whack at some point. All right, but we want to have a cleat in the ground, 6-inch steps, keeping the pressure on the inside of our feet. All right. On this next drill, it's an Alabama press man drill. Okay, so we're gonna get a better view right here. Okay, so essentially, we're in press man. I think his back is a little too hunched for how tall he is, and I think that has to deal with the coach being so short. The thing with taller guys is you don't want to really shrink everything down, in my opinion. I was always taught, so I would have his chest up a little bit more. But again, I think he's trying to fit the position of the bag. Everyone teaches it differently. That's just my opinion. Hunched over is kind of tough. So you're going to have your feet hot. We're inching back or we're motoring back. All right. If the receiver is going to release directly in front of us, straight in front of us, shock release, or he just has no wiggle at all, he thinks he's like a bigger guy, he's just going to go right in front of us, shoot 2 hands. Once that receiver gets outside of our frame, releases outside, we're going to go with an offhand, 1-hand jam. Okay, keep our feet moving. Receiver releases outside to our frame to our right. We're going to release, to our right, left hand, offhand punch, lockout. All right, so this is, you can zigzag this. We'll show a video of the zigzag version, but essentially, I already talked about how I felt about his chest being too low like this. Some coaches would, this is fine. Some coaches, I want I don't, if you're long, I want you to use your length, show the receiver your numbers. All right. We could debate on that. But if you're doing this drill, inch back, go forward, two hands. Keep your feet hot. Go to the left, offhand jam with the right. Keep your feet hot. Go to the right, offhand jam with your left. Okay. Now let's go to this drill. And just because it's an NFL drill doesn't mean you need to do it. Doesn't mean it really makes sense for you to do it. I like the first part of this drill. I don't like the second part of this drill. But understand this, like when you're practicing, you've done spring ball, you've done fall camp, you're in the season, and you just want to do something different. Maybe that's what this is, but this looks kind of like training camp. I don't know. But as a coach, you just want to make it fun. You want to make it different. So I like this part. I like the mirror offhand jam technique, or a portion of this. He steps to my left. Yep, step to my left. I'm stepping laterally, shooting with my right hand. All right, keep working my feet. Mirror drill. He works to my left. I'm sorry, he works to my right. I'm stepping, throwing with the offhand. So my feet are working independent of my hands. My eyes are on the target. My feet are working with my eyes, and my hands are accessory. All right, independent hands, independent feet. All right, my feet are moving. My hands moving. Just get comfortable moving your feet, putting hands out there. If he's in front of you, shoot hands. I just don't like this part because usually when you throw an offhand jam, you're never really turning in this angle. All right, you're never really turning in this angle. So you got to be careful when you're doing certain things. Like if you're always preaching throw an offhand punch and kick, I wouldn't suggest doing this portion where you're just opening the gate and you're running in a straight line, even though it looks like they're just working on their brakes, right? All right, key in the hip or whatever, and then he runs a dig, you're inside the dig or whatever. But I just don't like this part, but I like this part. Boom, 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 boom. Now you can do this drill. Let's say we release offhand punch, kick, and then you do this exact part. Kick, and then you do this exact part. All right, that's just my opinion. Okay, so to me, or not to me, but this is a back shoulder drill. Florida Gators from this is Cormani McClain. By the way, Cormani McClain seems to be doing a lot better at Florida. Good for him. So at the end of the day, right? It depends. So as a coach, I've seen this coach this way. So if that receiver is inside of the red line, quite literally inside of this red line, imaginary line, when we don't have paint, every college field has it. It's 5 yards from the sideline. If he's inside that red line, we're taught to, let's say for first 18 yards of the rep, to anticipate the back shoulder because he's leaving a lot of space open. But it could be that, all right? That's me guessing. It doesn't have to be that. I know some people teach inside the red line, back shoulder, on the red line or outside the red line, turn, cut off, and play the ball. But at the end of the day, we're in a lead position. We're on top, okay? We see that receiver, the V of the neck. He starts to show us his numbers, all right? That back shoulder quite literally turns towards the sideline. We want to immediately close space, especially if there's this much space, close space, get chest to chest and play the hands. We would not look for the ball in this case because there's so much space and we got to assume that ball's on the way, quite literally like right here. So there's no time to look for the ball. Get chest to chest, close space, punch through the hands. Okay. Now on this drill, I got a lot of questions about this drill. What are they simulating? So this is a crack and replace drill. Crack and replace, okay? So let's say we're guarding a receiver. The receiver is going to turn his shoulders. And this DB is the receiver. So it could be a nub split, meaning there's no detached receiver. So like a tight end, he's down blocking. Or the receiver has a close split and he's turning, he's cracking the linebacker, he's cracking the down safety. So whether it's press man, off man, whatever, you're playing at 5x2 off the nub. As soon as we see our receiver turn turn his shoulders and make contact with the linebacker, make contact with the receiver, whoever he's cracking, we want to replace. So we want to close space. All right, we want to replace off the backside of that receiver, of that blocker, close that space. All right, because the running back, the ball carrier, is taught to run off the backside of the receiver, of the blocker. So if he's taught to run off the backside of the blocker, we want to close that space and we want to replace off the backside of the blocker as well. So we should be meeting him, which is the ball, this orange ball, same foot, same shoulder. All right, so inside foot up, inside shoulder contact. All right, crack, crack, crack. We alert the crack and we replace off the backside of the blocker. All right, so those are the drills. Make sure you go to thedbnetwork.com. I hope you learned something. So if you do purchase the DB Mastery program, we're gonna have drills like this, if not these very same drills, in the Mastery program. So if you already have it, make sure you email me. My email should be in the DB Mastery program on my IG. I'll put it in the description as well. I appreciate you guys.